Welcome back everyone to Learn Repetition. Today we're in statics and we're going to be solving problem 1.4. So it says, convert 200 pounds times feet to a Newton times meter. B, we have to convert 350 pound over feet cube to kilonewton over meter cube. And C, 8 feet per hour to a millimeter per second. Express the result to three significant figures. Use an appropriate prefix. Okay, so now what we're doing in here is we have a couple of English units, converting them into metric, like for example A to B, same thing in here and all that. Now how are we going to do this? Well, in the book they give us this table basically where we have some conversion factors from the FPS system to the SI system. Okay, so basically how it works is that if I have my length, for example, in feet, then this is the same amount in the SI unit in meters. Okay, so let's just start on. We have problem A. We have a 200 pound times feet, and we need to convert this to Newton times meter. Okay, so I'm putting it over there in green just so we know that that's our goal. Now, the way that I always learn how to do this, I learned this basically mainly in my chemistry classes, is that, well, if I have 200 pound, if I have the unit pound on top as an example, and I want newtons, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to find a conversion that lists my newtons on top and my pounds at the bottom. And why does that? Well, because that way I can cancel my pounds on top with my pounds at the bottom. They cancel out and I'm left with my newtons on top. And we will do something similar for my feet. Now, let's start with the first one. When we need to change from pounds and newtons. Well, over here we look, we have the pound. 1 pound is equal to 4.448 newtons. So that's what I'm gonna do. 4.448 newtons is equal to 1 pound. And that way we have the first thing done, and we're going to multiply by this other fraction, and then we're going to do something similar. We want to cancel our feet. That means that feet has to be in the bottom, right? So we're going to go ahead and we have feet on top and at the bottom, I'm sorry, and we want meters on top. I know I want meters because that's our goal, so that way I can cancel my feet with my feet. And then we're going to go to our table and we'll say, hey, for length, 1 foot is equal to that amount of meters, so we got 0.3048 divided by 1, and then we're going to put this into our calculator, and when we play this into our calculator we get a total of 271.15, and again the units should be newtons times meter. Okay, so this and that. Last thing we're going to do for that problem is to say, hey, I'm going to circle all of this. Express the result to three significant figures and use an appropriate prefix. So what I'm going to do is that, hey, only three significant figures, so I'm going to round this up to 271 newtons times meter. And just like that, we found the first answer for problem A. We're gonna do same thing for problem B. So we got 350 pounds over my feet cube. We're going to get a fraction, and I'm gonna start with pounds. Well, pounds is initially on top, so I want some pounds at the bottom, and we want, again, I forgot to say, hey, we want this in kilonewtons per meter cube. Okay, so I'm going to put newtons on top. Okay, because that's the first unit I have in here, right? Like the first conversion I got. Now, what I'm going to do, just to make it simpler, is that I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna put newtons at the bottom again, but I have kilonewtons in here. Now we know that 1,000 newtons is equal to 1 kilonewtons. So for that reason, I'm doing this, so that way we have cancel our pounds with pounds, our regular newtons with newtons, and we got our kilonewtons, which is our main goal. Now, we did find the fraction for this one, or the equivalent. Now, however, with 1 pound, it's equal to 4.448 newtons. Okay, we're gonna do times, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this over here. Oop. I'm going to erase this and put it over here again, times meter. So I moved that table all out of the way so we can keep doing our fractions. Now I need to cancel this feet cube. That means that I need to have my feet cube in here. Now if we look at our table, my feet are not cubed. The way that we're going to do that is that we're going to take the unit in feet. So we got 1 foot, and then we got 0.3048 meters. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to raise it to the third to everything, okay? So that way we raised our 1, our feet, and then similarly we got our 0.3048 meters. We raise it to the cube, and that way we can cancel out our feet cube with our feet cube as I did in here, and we're left off with our meters cube. Okay, so I'm gonna plug this into the calculator, and when I do this I get a total of 54.9778, and the units again will be kilonewton over meter cube. Again, only 3 significant figures, so we're going to do 54.9, so we get 55.0. The units kilonewton per meter cube. And just like that, we found the answer for our problem B. For problem C, similarly, we got 8 feet per hour, and we need to convert this into millimeter per second. So we do the same thing again. We're gonna start with our foot. We wanna convert our foot to millimeter. So we got the conversion between feet to meter, and we have that meter is 0.3048 to 1 foot, and then we're going to convert that meter into millimeter. So we know that, as an example, well, if I want millimeter on top, we know that 1,000 millimeter is equal to a meter, 1 single meter. That way I can cancel my meter with my meter, and we're left with the desired unit, which is millimeter. Lastly, we're gonna cancel out that hour, so we got 1 hour. It's equivalent to 3,600 seconds. Now, as you can see, this is not included in none of that. However, we can find that out by knowing that, hey, in an hour I got 60 minutes, and by each minute I got 60 seconds. So that way, if you multiply 60 times 60, it will give you the 3,600. Okay, now that we have that, we can cancel our hour with our hour, and we can start plugging all of this into our calculator, and we should get a total of 0.67733, and then the units should be millimeter per second. Again, only 3 significant figures, so we're going to put 0.677 millimeters per second. And just like that, we found the solution for our problem C. So I hope you guys liked this video. Please push the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.